And now I'm going to deliver by welcoming back Lexi Warchock with a STEM advocate, or is a STEM advocate here in Jackson County. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you so much. So excited to be here, yeah.
Yeah, we've, of course, you're a 2017 grad of Napoleon High School, valedictorian.
Oh, absolutely.
And then the 2022 Rose Queen winner. But you are, you're more than just that. You are a rocket scientist.
Actually, yes. To build rockets, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
literally.
literally a rocket scientist. But tell us a little bit about, you were here last year, we were talking about the research you've been doing. Talk a little bit about what you've been doing since.
Yeah, absolutely. So when I graduated from Napoleon, valedictorian in 2017, since then I went on to school at the University of Michigan Dearborn, where I did 2 degrees, a bioengineering degree and a mechanical engineering degree, where I also would build rockets in my spare time. And I graduated from that as top of my program as well. And then I decided I wanted to go to medical school. So with my engineering background in medical school, I thought I could be able to be a physician engineer. Ooh. And since then I've been working at the Kellogg Eye Center in Ann Arbor doing ocular biomechanics research, which is just kind of a fancy word for understanding how the mechanics of your eye can relate to disease progression like glaucoma.
Okay.
And while I've been doing that, I've also had a great time going to schools and kind of sharing what being a scientist looks like and advocating for STEM through that.
I'm just blown away. Like, I feel like such an underachiever.
Yeah, so with what you want to do for your career, talk a little bit about how the engineering and the healthcare kind of works together.
Oh, absolutely. It blends together much better than you would think.
Yeah.
So my ultimate goal is to be able to work one-on-one with patients, but also use my engineering background to really build up the healthcare field through research and development, but drawing on those one-on-one connections. So like I said, I was an engineer. I had done that a lot, but I kind of missed out on those one-on-one experiences and got into working with the community. So I found a pathway. It's actually called doing a medical scientist training program where you get a medical degree and a PhD. Wow. So it's a combined program, and basically how it works is I would be doing working in the clinic maybe 80% of the time, but then also doing research. Wow. So I can really draw on those experiences and work on creating new healthcare that'll help my patients.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you're so inspiring, and you have also figured out a way in your spare time, which I don't know where you have it, how to give back to the community and really inspire youth. Tell us a little bit about how that works and what you've got going on.
Yeah, absolutely. So this really came about, like you guys said, I'm a Napoleon graduate. I came from a small town. And when I went on to college, I didn't realize the struggles I would face a little bit of coming from kind of a smaller town. And I really wanted to make sure that I could share that anyone could look like a scientist.
Okay.
And
wow.
Yeah. Honestly, if you ask students, there's been big studies on it. What does a scientist look like? A lot of the times they don't look like someone who comes from a small town. A lot of times they draw, someone with gray hair, probably a man.
Male.
Yep. And so this really came about. I wanted to share my experience of coming from Napoleon and going on to be able to do all the things I have done. And just make it very clear to all of the students of Jackson that if they want to be a scientist, they can.
Nice. So is this something that you've launched, or have you partnered with anybody? Like, if there's a school that's interested in having you come speak?
Absolutely. They can reach out to me directly. This is something I've kind of run independently.
Okay.
And it was just an idea that I had. It started with some of my local schools, like going back to Napoleon. And I also worked with Girls on the Move. And ever since then, I kind of fell in love with doing it. So they're absolutely free to reach out to me directly. And I would love to come to their school and share what it's like to be a scientist. I usually do a mini experiment and just kind of get them thinking like scientists.
Nice.
Lexi, you mentioned med school, and you have quite a few choices, but you have not selected, have you yet?
No, I have not selected yet.
Let's do it right now. Pick.
Yep, it's still, I have to pick actually this week.
Do you have it narrowed down?
You have it narrowed down to how many?
I have it narrowed down to 3.
Okay, what are they? We're going to help you.
Oh, goodness.
Well, I don't know if we can help.
3 is actually hard. So I got accepted to 9 total.
Wow.
But my current choices right now are the University of Utah for a fully funded, fully paid for. Same with University of Michigan.
Okay,
Wow.
fully funded. I like those 2 already.
Carl, Illinois.
Okay.
And then Yale.
Well, what do you vote?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, we love keeping you local.
I like
think
the
it's
fully
such a
funded
great
ones, but
resource.
yeah.
Yale is Ivy League. Was that a dream of yours?
Yeah, it was actually a shock. Like I said, coming from a small town, when I got the invitation I didn't even think, when I applied, I was like, oh, you know. When I got the invitation to interview, I was just like, no way. And every step of the way, when they finally accepted me, I was like, I can't believe this happened.
That's cool.
So how does Yale feel if you say no?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to have you back on next week after you've made this this huge decision. But whatever school, I'm sure will be very thrilled to have your talents. I'm sure. So it's exciting.
We're grateful that you have just gone out into the world and learned such great things and brought it back to your community and inspire so many people. I love that. Like, what does a scientist look like? Well, guess what? This is what it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I go into schools, that's kind of one of the things I love to do. Is I usually come, when I was the Rose Queen, I would come all dressed up with the crown and sash, and I'd start with asking them, you know, what does a scientist look like? Can you tell me? And ask, have you ever actually seen a scientist in real life? And most of them say no, or some might raise their hand, you know. And then I say, well, you're talking to one right now. And I love seeing their faces light up, like, that's cool. Wow, you know, this is a real scientist.
Yeah.
You're also stepping into schools and doing cultural demonstrations.
Absolutely. Ojibwe.
Talk a little bit about your heritage.
Absolutely. So I am Ojibwe. I'm from the Keweenaw Bay Indian community of the Greater Superior Chippewa.
Wow.
And so it's something really important to me that I've recently started sharing. So for a lot of people that don't know, it was actually illegal to speak this language. It was not able to be taught until 1972. Oh, nice. And it still wasn't even promoted until 1990 when they had the Native American Language Act, NALA. And so this language, if you want to learn it, is very, very difficult. In fact, the amount of people who speak it, this is an endangered language, it is 60,000.
Wow.
So, you know, the Jackson County has 160,000. So less than Jackson County in the entire world speaks this language.
Wow.
So it's something really important to me, just that it's so difficult to learn or even know that this language exists. And so I love going into schools and sharing about it. And especially as a scientist, you know, Native Americans are less than 1% of the science community. So sharing that, you know, I can be a scientist and you can learn about this language kind of comes full circle with, you know, anyone can look like a scientist.
Can you teach us a couple words?
Could you say Jennifer looks like a scientist in that language?
I don't think, so like I said, this is really hard to learn. I'm still practicing being fluent in it, but I can tell you, Mino Gishigad, good morning. Of course, now everything, as soon as someone asks you to say things in your language.
Wait, say good morning again.
Mino Gishigad.
Mino Gishigad.
Mino Gishigad.
Mino Gishigad.
There you go, remember that.
All right.
Nindijnakaz Lexi, I am Lexi.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. Amazing all of the things you're bringing to the community too at just such a young age. That's so cool. What's your ultimate career goal?
So my ultimate career goal would be, like I said, probably being a physician scientist, working with my patients, but also building up new technology. Likely I'd love to be using my engineering skills to like design new medical devices, but also as a physician, I still want to be very involved in the community. So I really see myself, you know, 10, 20 years from now, being a physician, but being active in the community, being able to bring healthcare to the community, maybe at affordable rates, and making kind of free clinics, and also still being interacting in schools and just serving as a role model for the community.
Well, we hope that you don't forget about us here in Jackson County, because we're so proud of you. We got to give a big shout out to Vicki Berkey, a friend of mine who reached out to let me know just all the amazing things that you are doing, and wanted to make sure that our viewers got a chance to get to know you better. So thank you, Vicki.
Yeah,
and thank you so much, Lexi, for being here.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks, Lexi. Appreciate it. Lexi Warchock, who is a STEM advocate here in Jackson and really around the entire country. Lexi, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
More of the show right after this quick break.